And welcome everybody here to qualifying for the Acura 400. This is going to be race number 5 on the year here in season number 1 of the Body Armor Cup Series. We are here for the first time ever. I could be wrong. Supposedly the Monster Energy Oval IndyCar Series used to go here, but first time ever in NOFSRL history, we have brought Cup Series cars out here to the flat 1.5 mile oval here in Japan, Twin Ring Motegi. It is going to be 50 laps tomorrow when we take the green at about 12 noon Eastern here for the Acura 400. I'm joined alongside, as once again, back in the booth. Been a couple races. We got Napa Fan back in the booth.
It has been a while, yeah.
It has been.
Yeah,
since
we'll
the
just
bash.
say it's the first time the NOFSRL has been here. We ceremoniously killed off the Monster Energy Oval IndyCar Series. Rest in peace. Haas IndyCar Series came in and just whipped it right out of here. Sorry, Marty. But yeah, we're looking forward to this race, and for many reasons. Of course, Body Armor Cup Series coming here this weekend, but looking to have an exhibition event here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series at the end of the year. So definitely looking forward to seeing how this race plays out. We'll have the Chick-fil-A Cup Series guys most likely on here in mid-September, so definitely a lot to look forward to here on this flat mile and a half.
Oh, it will be, and it's it's kind of been talked about for a while getting cars out here, and we finally breaking through this weekend, getting it on the schedule in a points-paying event too for its first time. So it should definitely be a fun one. Where are we at in qualifying? About 2 minutes into the books here. Still a lot of guys on pit road, a lot of guys starting to clock in laps. Where is that 27? So you got the 54 Kelly Rhodes. You got the 27 of Dale Lightning in the Twix machine, wherever on earth he is. There he is coming across the line. Let's see if he's got the draft from Monaco. Dale Lightning looking fast here early on in the going. When you come to these, what do you think's going through these drivers' minds? You know, I don't think any of these guys, because I don't know how many of these guys were in the Monster Energy Oval Series. Most of these guys have never set foot on this track before.
Yeah, I doubt many of these people have. A couple guys who might include Eric Monaco, Fitzwater, and Zidell. But a lot of these other guys are relatively new to the NOFSRL, so I don't think they were here. But either way, it's a completely different car they're driving here than the IndyCar Series anyway. I'd like to compare this track to Gateway, actually. It's got a similar feel to Gateway, but it's just 1.5 miles. So if you're good at Gateway, and we're going to have a Gateway weekend in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series in August. We've had Chick-fil-A Cup races there before in the past. So if you're good at Gateway, which we haven't seen in a while, but if you're good at Gateway, you might be good here.
Yeah, it's a lot more like a stretched out, a wider, longer version of Gateway. It would be definitely a good comparison. Or a lot like Homestead, Miami, back in its early days before they increased the banking on that track. Be another track to compare it to. But we're about, where are we at? 6:30 in the books. The 8-car Alexander Rowe is currently on top. The man's been driving absolutely out of his mind the past few weeks. Quite frankly, got screwed out of a win at the Daytona 500. All the lap cars just would not get out of his way late in the going there. You got Kelly Rhodes in second, trying to get Velocistar Racing, the last team to not score any points this year, trying to get them on the board. Dustin Davis, since Daytona, we all know the insanity that went down mostly among him at Daytona, but since then he's been looking good. Scott Upton jumps to the top. And you got Brett Sierra, Nelson, Dale Lightning, Bronson Minnick, and the 3 of Alphabet rounding out the top 10.
Definitely a good race that I think we're going to have tomorrow. It's a tight track, and if you overshoot the corner, you slide up, so we're probably going to see a lot of that. But back to Alexander Rowe, is currently second fastest. Another track that this could be compared to, in a way, maybe, is Rockingham Motor Speedway in the United Kingdom. The Chick-fil-A Cup Series has gone there since Season 2, and Alexander Rowe has won twice in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series there, so he may have a good run here at the Twin Ring Motegi.
Definitely a good spot. Alexander Rowe definitely shows up in unique spots. Is obviously an inexperienced driver altogether, but he definitely pulls through in the more, like you said, two wins over in the United Kingdom at Rockingham. Pulls through always in the most unique clutch situations. Let's see, who else do we got here? We got Brett Sierra somewhere is up here. Somewhere. So you got Brett Sierra in the 77, which I think he's on pit road cycling around. I don't see him anywhere. Oh, there he is. So Brett Sierra in the 77, who's definitely, he's shown some speed the past couple weeks. You got Scott Upton, Rowe, Keegan Thompson's jumped up to 4th. Arthur Xavier, Rhodes, Davis, Russell, make that Colton Yo, Russell, and Fitzwater. Taking a look. 4 minutes to go.
You mentioned you have Velocity Racing. Another team that's had a little bit of a struggle in the points is my team, Outer Island Motorsports. Robbie Noonan and Angel Olvera. Of course, Olvera won the opening race of the season, but since then it hasn't been the best of runs for this team. Of course, they are an experienced team in other NOFSRL leagues, or more specifically just the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. But they're around in a lot of NR leagues, and it's interesting to see these guys, have a bit of a struggle early on, but then again, Robbie Noonan and Angel Olvera, they're not rookies per se, but they don't have as much experience as some other guys in the field. Mainly Fitzwater, Alexander Rowe in this series, a couple of the big name guys in this series. But it's a long season. Of course, we're running until the early part of December, I do believe. So they'll have a lot of time to work their way up in the points. They're bound to get some wins. I think even Velocity Racing as well. All these teams will find their footing eventually, and that'll just make the rest of the season better here.
No, definitely. Outer Island they're sitting 4th in the owner's points, but obviously Angel Olvera scored 25 points in the season opener at New Smyrna, and they're sitting 4th with 34 points, which means in the 3 races since, they've only scored about 9 points, which obviously is not a lot. Taking a look here, it's still Sierra, Upton, Alexander Rowe. So we got a bunch of we got a trio of actually no, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Toyotas. And you have the first non-Toyota and Ryan Durrani. Kelly Rhodes. Taking a look back through, let's see what other notables we've got here. Who else do we have? Both the Otter Island cars in the top 20. Just taking a look down here. Usman Hamid, Chase Buck currently sitting shotgun on the field. Chase Buck, a man who has had absolutely no luck here this season between New Smyrna not making the field, Daytona Road Course, Lap 1 incident, kind of got into a mess with Dustin Davis at Daytona, but he had a nice quiet run at Nashville. Just taking a look, Josh Williamson, our point leader. Let's see where he's at. I can't find him anywhere. Josh Williamson is sitting currently 27th, so not a good starting spot for him, but it's going to be interesting too, because Josh Williamson definitely took advantage of a lot of guys at Nashville who are around him in the points, not scoring, and I think he came home 4th. And if you're some of these guys here, a Brandon Nelson who won, a lot of these other guys, Olvera, Johnson, Wilson, who are close, what do you want to do here coming into this weekend, just trying to gain back in on that momentum that you might have lost from that Josh Williamson was able to expand his lead a bit?
Yeah, it's a new track, but this schedule in the Body Armor Cup Series features a lot of flatter short tracks as it is, so I would imagine these guys, they're not going to be inexperienced with it. But I think that plays a factor into how these guys attack the racetrack. They don't really know it that well. It's not a very common racetrack in other NR leagues. So, a lot of these guys, they race the Daytonas. It's a very common track for these guys to race at. This is not one of them. So I think coming into this weekend, they're more focused on making sure they get the racetrack correct versus, getting them to jump in the points. If they get comfortable within the race, getting comfortable here in qualifying, because it also kind of acts as a practice session. Then, I think you'll definitely see these guys tend to, race a little bit better and be more confident in their cars, and then focus and concentrate on getting around, getting a good jump in the points, because you got to finish top 10 to receive championship points here in the Body Armor Cup Series. But and I think a lot of these guys just want to make sure they can race the track before they go out there and worry about the championship, because we're still early on in the season here, only on the 5th race.
No, definitely. Still is early. It's only a 26 race season, so obviously the season can get away from you a little quicker than, say, over a 30, 36 race slate, but it is still early. Taking one final look here as time runs down, we have 6 Toyotas in the top, all six Toyotas making up the top 6, and then you go Pontiac, Orion Durrani, Kelly Rhodes, Brandon Nelson, and Colton Yo. So in total, 7 Toyotas in the top 10. Strong showing for them. It's looking, I think it's at this point all but set. Brett Sierra is going to stop Casey Clifton's pole streak at 2, which is another impressive feat, the fact that Clifton went on a 2-race streak, back-to-back pole wins. But taking a look here, I don't think at this point, I think it's just about formalities and guys running out the clock here. Runs down to 0. Should just about do it once the last couple of cars cycle around. Just waiting for them all to cross the line one last time. And so that is basically just about it. So it's going to be Brett Sierra winning his first pole of the year. He's not quite there yet in the points, but he's lurking inside the top 10. Scott Upton, who could definitely use a big run, and Alexander Rowe, who's also in the top 5 in points. He would definitely, a good run for him tomorrow would definitely be good for him. But
drivers, to your cars.
Taking a look at the starting lineup. It's going to be on tomorrow, 50 laps. And it's going to be interesting too, because we'll have to see how it'll be interesting too to see, fuel mileage could play into effect too tomorrow, especially knowing that these guys have never been here to time out a fuel run before.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how that all goes down. It's a 50-lap race. Obviously, we call it a 1.5 mile, but it's about the same length as Atlanta. So just a little bit shorter on the lap count. But it'll be interesting to see how the fuel window runs for these guys. Lots of times you get a caution to come out at the perfect time, and then you get a fuel mileage race at the end. Heck, that's what happened at Atlanta in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series earlier this year. So we'll have to see. I'm looking forward to this one. Definitely looking forward to see how it all plays out. We're definitely looking for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series event here later on in September. But this is the first series to come here, and I think they're going to put on a good show tomorrow.
We are definitely excited to get this one going here. First time these cars have been on Twin Ring Motegi. It shall definitely be a good one here when we get going. But till then, congratulations, Brett Sierra, your pole winner. Brett Sierra, Scott Upton will lead you to the green, and we will see you tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern for the run of the Acura 400.